So since we last spoke, China has a new outbreak of a deadly virus, leading to new rounds of lockdowns similar to the ones we saw in COVID. Can't wait for season 2. The world's second space race has officially begun after a NASA announcement was leaked. We may have a new contender for the worst movie ever made. Not a movie review. A village in India had my literal childhood worst nightmare come to reality. And there has been a growing petition for me to shave my head after I accidentally revealed that I was the type of supreme leader that listened to the people. God damn it! All of that and so much more. Subscribe to the channel to join the Dilly Before a Millie Club. That's got a better ring to it. So stop the yapping and I will get corrected. Concise, powerful, to the point, energetic. That's how we start today. And so we will kick it off with this one because it has officially begun. The world has entered its second space race, but this one, a little bit weirder and different. And I say that because according to new documents obtained by Politico, NASA's acting administrator, Sean Duffy, will soon announce plans for the US to fast-track the launch of a nuclear reactor on the moon. And that doesn't sound interesting enough. The reason they're actually moving up this timeline is because NASA desperately wants to beat China and Russia, who actually have teamed up for a little partnership for their project to do the same. And the thing is, they don't like that because whoever essentially sets up the reactor on the moon first will have first dibs to declare what's known as a keep-out zone. And that will essentially limit what other countries can do nearby on the lunar surface. But America, they don't like keep-out zones on Earth or in space, unless it's called the southern border. So, with the China-Russia project only meant to launch in around 2035, the USA said, aight, let's run it by 2030 before them. And then we'll set up our own little keep-out zone. How about that? In fact, a senior NASA official whose identity is kept anonymous was reported saying it's about winning the second space race. Rather that than an arms race, eh? Although we probably have that too at this point. But you will be happy to hear that this, nuclear reactor isn't to kick off Universe War 1. It is inevitable, though, that we have a, intergalactic warfare. I mean, Alex would love that one. Woo! Alex would be on the front lunar line. In fact, isn't there that game, Alex suggested that when that game, I can't remember what it's called, actually comes out, we're gonna have a News Daddy squad all protecting a planet. I don't have much more context in my brain than that one, but more on that soon. Sorry, back to the nuclear reactor's purpose. It's essentially going to be used as an energy source to power a small base until they set up more, which, nice. Peaceful America. They have that in them too. And according to those leaked documents, it will apparently lay the groundwork to be able to support a future lunar economy, initiate high-power energy generation on Mars, and to strengthen national security in space. There it is. There's the word that we were fearing would come. Can't stop themselves, can they? Why would you even want to protect your country on Earth from another planet? What, does that even make sense? I mean, the beef that is going to cause on the moon between countries, saying it's for national security? God damn it. Wonder what weapons we would fight with on the lunar surface. Suit pokers. Now we're just getting silly. Moving on. Also, speaking about China, you're not gonna like this one. This week, they've been battling a virus across their Guangdong province, and it is spreading fast. Now, while this virus, called Chikungunya, isn't actually new and it's fairly common in Asia and Africa, is pretty damn rare in China. But in the last week alone, they saw a jump of 3,000 reported cases, bringing the total number since the beginning of June to 7,000. Now, this virus spreads through mosquitoes and can cause fever and joint pains that sometimes can last years. And because of this, China, they're cracking down hard. Officials have launched a major anti-mosquito campaign, including spraying city streets with disinfectant, using mosquito-eating fish to control any larvae. They deployed an army of giant elephant mosquitoes that can devour small chikungunya spreading bugs. They've initiated a campaign of drones to search for stagnant water on rooftops. And even if local residents fail to get rid of the stagnant water on their property, they will face heavy fines or even criminal charges for obstructing the prevention of infectious diseases. Damn! China is different. I mean, it's on the one hand efficient, on the other hand, out of control with the power that they wield. And not just that, but they've enforced some lockdown measures. They've ordered travelers from infected areas to undergo 14-day home quarantines and told tourists to avoid the infected areas and told them to take the vaccine, which is approved for use in the US. But here's the issue that people are having with that. Because some are saying these measures are way too harsh for what this virus actually is. Firstly, it can only be spread through mosquitoes, not from person to person. So some are saying that the lockdowns and the quarantines in particular, somewhat unnecessary. What are they gonna start nipping at people's heels? And also officials say that all of the reported cases so far have been mild, with 95% of the patients being discharged within a couple of days. In fact, since the start of 2025, 240,000 people around the world have been infected with chikungunya, and only 90 of them have actually lost their lives. But what do you think? Is an abundance of caution necessary? Or is this just giving flashbacks of the pandemic days? Let me know in the comments. Moving on. Also, since we last spoke, this is so horrendous. We may have just got a new contender for the worst movie ever made. Now, that may sound like an exaggeration, and this is not a movie review, by the way. But after I run through this, you might see what I'm talking about. Ice Cube, of all people, stars in a new film on Amazon called The War of Worlds. And it has achieved an incredible 0% on Rotten Tomatoes. Bro, that is a privilege reserved for very few movies. And the reviews of this thing are brutal. This movie must have been written by a 10-year-old using ChatGPT. Do not watch. It's an insult to entertainment and art. What the actual
corn casserole
did I just watch? The worst thing I've ever seen. I'd like to invent a time machine to avoid seeing it. That is some harsh stuff. Even Penguin Zero dropped a video titled, "This is actually the worst movie I've ever seen," and it was 33 minutes long. How do you rant about a movie being bad for 33 minutes?
Literally nothing redeeming about this film. The only positive I could almost squeak out here is that it is enjoyably shitty.
And the trailers aren't doing any better because most of them are getting flooded with way more dislikes, and a few have even had to turn their comments off. And then just the icing on top of the cake, but this icing is manure and feces, the trailer. In the actual trailer for the movie, it says it's worse than you think. Beautiful irony. But all of this just, for some reason, makes me want to watch it now and review it. Come out of retirement. No, I'm joking. That's way too far. Maybe this was their plan, to make the worst movie ever so that so many people want to watch it because of how bad it is. Moving on. Okay, guys, for our next story, if you happen to have any pets in the room right now watching this video with you, send them out. Or cover their ears, because I don't want to traumatize them. A zoo in Denmark this week asked the public for their unwanted pets to feed their predators. Yeah. The Aalborg Zoo said that they have the responsibility to mimic the natural food chain of their predators. So if anyone happens to have any unwanted pet chickens, rabbits, guinea pigs, or even small horses, they can donate them to the zoo, where they'll be gently euthanized by trained staff and then used afterwards as fodder. I don't know what fodder means, but it doesn't sound good, and it sounds pretty brutal. They say, quote, "That way nothing goes to waste, and we ensure the natural behavior, nutrition, and well-being of our predators." But here's the thing, despite this being an initiative that's been in place for years and is pretty commonplace in Denmark, the world was not ready. In fact, they received so much international attention on their Facebook post that they have had to turn off their comments and ask people to stop the hateful and malicious rhetoric. So what do you think? Is this out of bounds to ask for people's pets? Or is this simply the process of life and it's completely normal? Let me know in the comments, but moving on. Nowhere is safe anymore. A British mother with assaulted while in mid-air parasailing in Tunisia. What the hell? The 52-year-old mother of 3 said that she was strapped into a harness with a parasail operator when he apparently pressed himself up against her and groped her while they were in mid-air above a beach in the city of Sousse. She said she could also feel the back of her bikini bottoms being pulled and him continuously tightening the harness to bring her closer while whispering in her ear in Arabic. And if that wasn't disturbing enough, she also said that the operator was only a young lad, maybe around 20. What are we even doing? Guys, let's be serious. Come on, freaking unlocking new crime locations on the map. Now, when they finally returned to the ground, she apparently burst into tears and reported the incident to police and the travel company. They're investigating, and apparently the man has been arrested. Good. Next. Oh, and this one's almost as bizarre as the last story, because how does one get arrested for this? 2 girls from Russia were detained for a TikTok video where they're lip-syncing in front of a burning oil depot after it was bombed by Ukraine. And let me tell you, the police literally and metaphorically did not like this. Because after seeing this, they sent out a freaking wanted poster for a TikTok. They said that it was seen as a potential glamorizing of a Ukrainian strike. And when they eventually tracked them down, the 2 girls who were only 19 and 21, as well as the guy who was featured in the video, they got them to make a public apology on camera to then put out. The aura points that they would have lost, I guess they're not at school anymore, at university would have been tremendous. The girl who posted the video was charged with failure to comply with rules of conduct in an emergency. I swear they That's the thing about this. Failure to comply with rules of conduct in an emergency. I swear they can just... What do we want to charge this person with? Let's just make up some words. And they fined her 30,000 rubles. Now, while I thought that this was a pretty harsh consequence, I asked my audience on Instagram whether they thought it was fair or harsh, and surprisingly, it was pretty split. 52% of people said it was harsh, and 48% said it was fair. So yeah, let me know what you think. Is this fair? Is this harsh? Moving on. Okay, now this next one is a pretty personally terrifying story because my literal nightmares as a child came to reality for this Indian village. Imagine you're going about your daily activities when, out of nowhere, a giant wave that should not exist comes over, swallows everything and everyone around you. Well, that's literally what happened because after super heavy rainfall caused this flash flood, it swallowed an entire village, ended the lives of 4 people, which actually the death toll is probably gonna rise because dozens are missing, and you can zoom into this clip and you can see people still running around as this wave is like a block away. And the aftermath looks even scarier because almost the entire place is buried under meters of mud and rocks. Holy man, weather, I'm telling you, weather nowadays is cooked. Moving on. And then, lastly, we've got a little bit of an update on the whole Jeffrey Epstein situation. Got a bit more progress. This time, it's more on the good side than the bad side, which we usually speak about. The US House panel has submitted subpoenas to Bill and Hillary Clinton, as well as several former attorney generals and the FBI director. What that means is that all those people that were in very high positions, I mean, leading up to literally the former president of the United States, well, they are now being forced legally to give a testimony under oath to the crimes committed by Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. And come on, surely that's got to reveal something. You know, or they could just say, I don't recall 1,000,000 times and dodge every question, so it'll just be a massive waste of time. But that is why you've got me. I will waste my time for you and then only tell you the good stuff. That's why you subscribe. And then, for our last story of the Biwa Wednesday, this is a petition from our last video that has got 2,500 signatures. Petition for Dylan to get a buzz cut. You try and be a fair leader and say, I'm open to listening and enacting the petitions of the people. And this is what they do to me. Huh? What am I supposed to do with this? I either break my first ever promise to listen to petitions, which is a terrible start, or I get a buzz cut like my former friend over there. You bastard. So here's my offer to Alex, because I've still got that to address. So in our previous war, it was Alex would shave his beard if I don't shave until Alex grows it back. Little did I know, it was 6 months for him to grow his thing back. Ain't no way I can do that. So, Alex, I'd like to request a revisit. I will listen to the petition of the Empire and keep the faith in the Empire nice and strong with the public support and get a buzz cut if you agree to shave your bottom, get a buzz cut on your beard. Those are my terms of negotiations in this current war that we're in. Do you accept or do you not accept? I don't know what he said, but you've heard it there first. I'll keep you guys updated on Alex and I's war negotiations. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope you subscribed. I hope you feel updated. And I hope to see you again on Friday. Woo!